Today, I want to share something that truly settled my spirit this morning. It's not a quick encouragement, it's an invitation to slow down and think about where our minds rest. There's so much noise competing for our attention, so many worries, pressures, and unseen battles happening right where no one else can see inside our thoughts. And yet, scripture gives us a promise that feels almost too steady for the world we're living in. A promise of perfect peace. So come back with me and let's have a chat. Isaiah 26:3 says, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee." Now let's unpack this. I love how one simple verse can give us so many insights. In Hebrew, the phrase perfect peace is shalom, shalom. And I've gotten to learn that when a word is repeated like this in Hebrew, it's not accidental, it's very intentional. This isn't partial peace, it isn't circumstantial peace, it's complete, total peace. A peace that speaks of wholeness, tranquility, peace of all peace. Almost like a double portion of peace. And what stands out to me is this. This promise is not anchored primarily to our emotions or even our hearts. It's anchored to our minds. Scripture tells us again and again, we are to love the Lord our God with all our minds. We are to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. We are to let the mind of Christ be in us. We are to set our mind on things above and not on things of the earth. So, clearly God takes our thought life seriously. Next part is whose mind is stayed on thee. The verse doesn't say whose life is perfect. It says whose mind is stayed on thee. This is the source of perfect peace. The Christian life is not an unthinking life. It's not just about doing the right things or feeling the right emotions. It is about where we choose to think. Where our minds dwell matter deeply in our walk with God. To be kept in perfect peace, our minds must be stayed, anchored, supported, resting upon Him. So the question then becomes, what is sustaining my mind? What is my mind standing on? Because we cannot occasionally lean on the Lord and expect lasting peace. Our minds must be constantly stayed on Him. If our minds are stayed on ourselves, on our problems, on the people who have hurt us, on fears, uncertainty, or distraction, we slowly lose our grip on that perfect peace. This is why the Apostle Paul could say, that I may know Him in the power of His resurrection, because spiritual battles are so often fought in the mind. The enemy does not always attack us with obvious sins. Often, he simply redirects our thoughts away from God. Let's talk about God's faithful provision, because God is never caught off guard. Praise Jesus. In every difficulty, He already has a way prepared to bring relief. Our Father has 1,000 ways to provide for us, ways we know nothing about. When the service and honor of God become our highest priority, confusion begins to clear, perplexities begin to fade, and the path before us becomes more plain. True happiness is then found when we learn of Christ, because when we take Him at His word and surrender to His keeping, when we allow Him to order our lives, we find peace. We find quietness of soul. Nothing in this world has the power to rob us of joy when Jesus makes us glad by His presence. And so often, the unrest we feel does not come from God at all, actually. Absolutely not. It comes from self-love, from self-focus, from carrying burdens we were never meant to carry alone. So today, I just want to leave you with this gentle reminder. There is a battle for our minds, but Christ is our solution. We are not powerless. We are invited to bring every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. If our minds feel restless today, if peace feels distant, this isn't a call to try harder. It's an invitation to rest deeper, to stay your mind on Him. I pray this brought you the same peace it brought me this morning. And I pray that as we learn to keep our mind stayed on Him, we experience that shalom, shalom, perfect peace guarding us in every season. Goodbye, friends.